Well, guys, in my opinion, the greatest asset to government, to corrupt corporations, to corrupt the corrupt system is low information people. Not necessarily low information voters, because we all know voting doesn't really count, in my opinion, but just low information people. People who don't know anything about anything. They don't know history. They don't know what's actually going on. They just repeat talking points from Fox News, from CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, all these CIA propaganda outlets. They just repeat what they hear from those and from their politicians and their echo chambers. And they think that it's actually factual. If you take people in your community, for example, most people in your community, my community, don't know shit. Most of your family don't know shit, more than likely, about anything, about reality. They just repeat what they've heard on mainstream media, on Fox News, or from their favorite talking head that they see on the computer, on their cell phone, or on their television. And they believe what they hear and think that is factual, because our government, our corporations, our corrupt Epstein-class system wouldn't lie to us at all. They have to tell us the truth, because we're Americans. We're the best. Our government isn't like every other government. They aren't corrupt like every other government. We're honest, and we're trying to save the world and trying to bring freedom and democracy to everyone. We've got the strongest military in the world. No one can stand before us. They quake at the knees and fall to the ground when our military passes by, and they get threatened by our military. We can destroy anybody in 2 weeks or less without any casualties. And they actually believe all this. They actually believe all this because they will see something like, what happened in Venezuela, and they think they can do it to anybody. Well, we're seeing right now in Iran that we can't do it to anybody, unfortunately. Or is it fortunately? Depends on who you talk to. So, we get propaganda. The news comes out and tells us that we're winning, that everything is going great. We have superiority on all fronts. They're losing. They can't stand up any more than maybe another week. They're going to be completely destroyed. Donald Trump comes on his Truth Social, I think that it was, and says that the only thing he will accept is unconditional surrender, and says that Iran is calling, begging for talks, and it's right the opposite, in my opinion. We saw this, and he talked about with the Houthis. He said they called and begged also. Wasn't what happened. Other way around. Usually what they say is the opposite, and he's trying to save face. Iran has realized, from what I've seen, what I'm hearing, that, and just what they're doing, that surrender isn't an option. Negotiating any longer, can't talk this morning, negotiating any longer isn't an option, because the United States can't be trusted. They break every treaty, they will be in negotiation, they will build back up, and they will attack. The goal is to completely destroy Iran for Israel. That's what it's all about. But the vast majority of people have no idea, no clue whatsoever at all. And you'll see things from people you know, from your family more than likely, like on Facebook. They may post a meme on Facebook or something, and they will post something about the United States made this direct hit, and they'll have up above, fuck around and find out. Okay. What did they find out? What did we find out? What actually is the whole conflict about? What is everything else about? They will lie. It's just like they tell us that the economy is great. Inflation is non-existent. And we look and we see what's actually going on, and people still believe the government when they see it with their own eyes, and believe the media because they actually want to believe, because it's their hero. We have this cult of personality right now, and it's went further than I thought that it ever would. People will follow the cult of personality to the end, apparently, some will. A lot of people are getting off jumping off, that's for sure, because it became so blatantly obvious what it actually is and who our current administration actually works for. And you'll have people get in the comments still yet when you say something about Donald Trump, or you question Donald Trump's policy. You say anything about anything, and they will say, well, I guess you should have voted for Harris. I guess it'd have been a lot better with Harris. Probably would have been. It wouldn't have been any worse. I mean, look what we got now. The economy sucks. Inflation sucks. We're in freaking World War III. We have all kinds of shit going on right now. So if it'd been any worse, it'd have been a challenge to get it any worse than what it is right now at this point. And we ain't seen anything yet. It's going to get a whole lot worse. But that's the only argument that people has now in support of Donald Trump is, I guess you'd rather for Harris to have got it. No, didn't want to get it either. I'd like to have someone decent, someone that was actually worth a crap for anything, actually cared about America, actually was America first. But none of these people are. None of these people are, because the power behind these people isn't America first. Most people in your community, in your family, don't know anything. They think they do. They think they're informed. They think we're the greatest thing in the world. We're always just. We're always right. Everything our government says is factual. Everything the president says is factual. They wouldn't lie to us. We're Americans. We're the United States of America. We're different than everyone else is. Unfortunately, anymore, that isn't the case. We're lied to constantly. Like I've been seeing the news now, about Russia helping Iran target United States bases, United States troops and things. Isn't that what we've been doing with Ukraine for 4 years here? Helping Ukraine target Russian sources, Russian resources, Russian troops to kill more people? Haven't we done the same thing, or our government? Yeah. But then when Russia does it, oh man, it's different. Just like if China arms Iran. That's just awful. We've been doing the same thing for years. We've been doing things like regime change for years. And we talk about democracy. A country will have an actually elected president in their own country, which is their business how they get it done. It's their business how they live. If they don't like it, they can overthrow their own government. But the United States, it's not about helping people or freedom or democracy. But they will say that as an excuse to go in and destroy a country to replace the government with their own puppet, which is what Donald Trump has said he wants to do in Iran. And it's not just Iran. We've done it to everybody over the years pretty much, or at least a lot of different countries. They tried to do it to Russia. That's what the whole Ukraine thing was about. That's what all the sanctions are about. Sanctions are about punishing the people. It's not about punishing the government first, actually. It's about punishing the people. Sanctions make life very, very difficult, make it difficult to live, difficult to survive, and the people will blame the government. So eventually, if it gets bad enough, the people will rise up against the government in that country and overthrow, with some little push from the intelligence agencies, and overthrow the government in that country, and then we can put in our own puppet that we can't control. That's what we do. We do this all the time. For decades, the United States has done this. Then we wonder why people chant death to America. I mean, you just look at the Iran-Iraq war. The United States helped Saddam Hussein, funded, gave weapons to Saddam Hussein to fight against Iran. They know this. They know who's behind it. They know who overthrew their leaders. They know who's attacked, who's helped Israel, who's done this and that forever. So, who blows up schools. So no wonder they chant death to America. And you have to wonder, what would the relations be if the United States had said, Iran is an old culture, Persia. They have their own customs, their own laws, their own religions, and that's fine. If their people don't like it, they can get rid of those leaders and replace those leaders themselves if they don't like what's going on. But we got to worry about our country here, and we can do trade with Iran, we can do trade with everyone and try to have peace, have a good defensive military, good defensive systems for United States or on our own soil here. But don't try to dominate the world through military force and regime change and coups and murder and assassination like we've done for decades. Work with these other nations, trade deals, try to work out deals that's good for them, good for us, and have peace. But we can't do that. Can you imagine how few wars we'd have had over the last 100 years if it wasn't for the United States? I mean, think about it. Very, very few. Most countries would have been in peace, or at least able to get along. Economies would have been better. I mean, you look at the money we spent on needless wars, weapons, the death, the murder, and it's all uncalled for. It wasn't about our freedom, democracy. No one is threatening us here in the United States. And if they did, who would blame them, unfortunately? I mean, I hate to say that, but the trouble is, it's not the American people. The main contributing factor of the American people is ignorance. They don't know any better, low information, and they support a lot of this stuff and they cheer it on. So there is that. But this isn't good. It isn't good, and people don't know enough to even comment, but they sure think they do. But anyways, guys, do you know any low information people? Do you know people in your family, in your community, that don't know shit about anything, that it believes all the propaganda? I'm sure you do, because I know I sure do. I saw some of that on Facebook last night, actually, being posted and talked about, and I was like, wow, how could people be so clueless? You know, people actually know. And if I post something, it'll get no likes, no comments. Usually there's a couple people on it that knows something, but very few, very few. They won't comment, won't like, because they're looking at me and thinking, he must have voted for Harris. It's crazy. It really, truly is. That's the ignorance and the low information people. Low information voters. Anyways, guys, you know, in the comments below, the people, if you know any crazy, low information, low IQ or whatever people when it comes to politics and world affairs and geopolitics, comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully.